Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar, run through various short range runs, having a look at the risk of thunderstorms this weekend and on hotter weather as well, as it is looking quite likely we reach the mid to high 20s quite widely through many areas of England and Wales, and there is quite a substantial risk we do reach 30 degrees as well. Again, not too ridiculously hot, but come the 13th of June, in 5 days' time, there is an interesting historical sort of statistic that we could break, as that is the only day in meteorological summer, so 1st of June until the 31st of August, that we've never reached 30 degrees. And there's looking like a real possibility that we could reach it in the next 5 days or so. So that's one thing to keep an eye out. It's going to be hot, and the big thing will be some thunderstorms around as well. So have a look at the various runs, UKV, have a look at the WRF and the arpege. Really mainly looking at the weekend at this stage, that's sort of the time frame we've got, but there will be the risk of hot weather and thunderstorms as we do head into early next working week as well. We'll finish off the video by just having a look at the longer range as well, look at the GFS and the ensembles, just to see whether we do have any longevity to this hotter weather, whether it's going to stay warm, it's going to stay hot, or whether we're going to see more of a change coming in a week's time. We'll just have to find out in the second half of the video. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. So if you start on the live radar, you can see at the moment it is another very dry day. We're recording this around 10:30 in the morning, so another very dry day, and it'll be fairly warm, if not starting to rumble into some of the hot territories in the far south, maybe 26 or 27 today, but most areas still around the low 20s or high teens. You look out into the Bay of Biscay, out towards parts of the Channel now, down towards northern France, we're starting to see areas of rain and thunderstorms move in, and this is associated with a lower pressure system out in the North Atlantic that is slowly heading our way, wafting up southerly winds, so hot, unstable areas slowly migrating our way, and it's this sort of air mass here that's going to give the instability and risk of thunderstorms through the weekend. Luckily, it's very slow moving, so it's not going to really arrive for at least another 36 hours or so, with a few thunderstorms across the southwest, perhaps into tomorrow, but the main risk will be on Saturday and then potentially again into Sunday. So if you put on the temperatures, I said it's sort of mid-morning now, so we're not expecting anything too hot, but you can see across the southwest it's already the warmest, and that's where we're expecting the peak temperatures this afternoon, around that 26 or 27 degree mark. Further northwards, a little bit cooler, but once again, we'll be widely into the low 20s here, high teens further northwards and eastwards. So if you go over to the UKV now and have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days, we'll be able to see all the way out until the 13th of June now. Just have a look what sort of pattern we'll be seeing. I don't think we'll be able to have a look at the afternoon temperatures on the 13th of June, but we'll be able to see what sort of air mass is in place. You can see this afternoon, it's another very dry day, another warm day, and those thunderstorms are just a bay to our southwest, but not really impacting us yet. Could be a few rumblings of rain overnight and a few showers dotted across the far southwest, but we're not thinking anything too crazy at this stage. It's tomorrow afternoon we could start to see a few storms impacting the far southwest and parts of the Republic of Ireland too. It's on Saturday that the main risk arrives. A bit more rain for the early hours of Saturday morning, but as we head into the afternoon, we do start to see thunderstorms break out across England and Wales. At this stage, we're looking at a cluster of storms through central and western areas. Again, as we'll see from the various other runs, most have this sort of outcome with some big storms in places as it does migrate northwards and sort of come into more of a big area of rain as it drifts away. Into Sunday, there was a big risk a couple of days ago for more widespread heavy thunderstorms, but at the moment, the latest guidance I'd say is more for pop-up storms. So again, you can see this here. We've got a lot of storms around, but they're very isolated and they're not particularly big and they're not clustered in those central or western areas like Saturday's storms were. So it'll be very much more hit and miss. Some areas could get battered with some more storms, other areas could stay completely dry and see 30 degrees. So it will be hit and miss on Sunday. It's just a very scattered system. And then as we head into Monday, but could become a little bit more organised once again through southern and eastern areas and through eastern Scotland as well. So there definitely is going to be sort of highlighted areas each day, and we'll have to pinpoint them. We'll probably make a bit more of a pinpoint decision tomorrow as we do get even more runs into the right time frame, and of course we get nearer to the time. But at this stage, it's looking on Saturday, that sort of central and western portion of England into Wales. Through Sunday, just scattered thunderstorms anywhere could be at risk. And into Monday, perhaps the southeast, into northern England and eastern Scotland. And eventually they will fill away and sort of drift and dissipate. See, the upper air temperatures are very warm into the 13th of June. You still have these very hot upper air temperatures, and that's why it's looking highly probable we do see temperatures push that 30-degree mark on the 13th of June. And if we do run through those 2 weeks temperatures over the next few days, you can see into the far southwest today could push that 25, 26, maybe isolated 27, but most areas low 20s or high teens. Into Friday, temperatures rising slightly higher, 27 or even 29 degrees across the far south, but it's not particularly widespread as of yet. Elsewhere, most areas are 20 to 25, and the real heat arrives into Saturday. Wow, the UKV is hot today. That's a big upgrade from yesterday's run, showing 33 degrees there through the West Midlands. Now, I'll be pretty sceptical of that, simply because the upper air temperatures, if we do have a look at this at 3 p.m. on Saturday, are hot, but not that hot, I don't think. 15 or 16 degrees at Angel VHP is possible, but from what we're seeing from the majority of runs, I'd say this is overdoing it slightly. As we'll see from the ensembles from the GFS run at the end of the video and the ECMWF run, most are around that sort of 12 or 13 degree mark, which would push 30 degrees, but this would exceed 30 degrees. And the other caveat I'd have for that, even if we did see these upper air temperatures arrive, we're seeing thunderstorms break out within this, which would cool these temperatures down. So it wouldn't be a blanket 30 to 33. It'd be very spotty and very isolated depending on where we see cloud and thunderstorms pop up. Very interesting seeing that from the UKV today. Maybe it's overdoing it, maybe it's spotting onto something that the other runs are not yet. But yeah, very hot from the UKV today, turning not from just a sort of a little bit of a hot spell to a proper heat wave if we did see temperatures push that 32 or 33 degree mark. Now, the other thing will be the overnight temperatures. Again, we are still early in the summer, so the ground isn't too hot yet. So the overnight temperatures won't be too ridiculous, but still could be into the high teens in a few areas. Maybe in the London area, urban areas, could see a tropical night, i.e. where the temperatures stay at 20 degrees or higher. Into Sunday, not quite as hot. 25 to 28 here. Still very hot, still likely hitting heatwave thresholds in many regions, but not quite as hot. This is what I'd expect more widely on the weekend, with us pushing 29 or 30 in a few spots. Again, very interesting seeing that Saturday figure. Into Monday, still another very hot day, and peaking once again around that 30 to 31 degree mark. Again, some more storms breaking out. And again, those will prohibit those temperatures, but we could see again another 32 degrees. And looking at the air mass, it's looking likely that the UKV would predict another 30 degree plus day on the 13th of June, which would make it would be historic. So we do now move over to the WRF and see what that is showing. If we first start on the Cape, again, we'll mainly look at the thunderstorms here, but we'll also touch on those temperatures just to see what they have to say for the temperatures into the weekend. You can see through the Friday afternoon, Cape levels across the southwest are moderate, so that's why there is the risk of some storms. We're not expecting anything too crazy there. As we do head into Saturday, though, around the mid-morning into the early afternoon, Cape levels really do blow up. You can see through central and western regions, very similar to where the UKV had thunderstorms breaking out. We've got very high levels of Cape, and we'd expect some severe storms breaking out within that. It does dissipate through the evening, but it does take a long time for those Cape levels to drop, so likely to see storms rumble away all the way into the middle of the night, lasting all the way to perhaps the early hours of the morning. Big outbreaks of storms is looking very possible here, and we can see that on the precipitation here. Again, a few storms packed through Friday in the far southwest, but as we head into Saturday, huge storm outbreak through central and western areas, and lasting all the way to around 10, 11, maybe 12 p.m, turning into a large area of rain that spreads into the Irish Sea up towards Northern Ireland and Scotland into the early hours of Sunday. WRF definitely showing a major thunderstorm outbreak on Saturday here. But interestingly, what will be the max temperatures? If we do have a look at the 2 meter temperatures here. If you go over to Saturday now, interested to see whether this does touch on 30 degrees. So we head to around 3 p.m. You can see widely we're looking at 25 to 27, locally 28 or 29. So this is what I'm kind of expecting. Widely mid-20s, isolated 28 to 30 degrees. Not the widespread 30 to 33 that the GFS was showing. Again, very interesting seeing that today. I'd be very sceptical of it. Sorry, the UKV was showing, but yeah, we'll have to see. And then we can't quite get out to Sunday's temperatures, but you can see perhaps again another bit of a tropical night there through the London area, perhaps. If you do look at the arpège now, if we do run through Friday, again, you can see some moderate cape perhaps in the far southwest, but yeah, nothing too crazy. As we head into Saturday again, another big outbreak of cape, especially through the afternoon into the evening and overnight hours before dissipating away, and into Sunday. Could see a bit of cape in eastern areas, but again, will be more likely just to be pop-up storms as there is no major outbreak here. If you look at the precipitation, very similar here through Saturday afternoon. Big storms breaking out in western regions, not quite as significant as the UKV or the WRF, but once again still quite widespread in the west. And then as we head into Sunday again, could be some pop-up storms in places, and then perhaps some more storms as we head into Monday as well, but we are not we're getting out to that time frame as of yet. And if we do look at the 2 meter temperatures, we're able to see, yeah, we go. 2 meter temperatures. So you see the max temperatures on Saturday. Yeah, this is getting rid of. Here we go. Yeah, sorry. Here we go. Over to the so we can actually see the actual numbers on the chart instead of having to read them off. You can see as we head into Saturday afternoon, seeing temperatures right here widely into the mid-20s or high 20s, but not seeing 30 to 33. You can see just across the channel we're seeing 31 or 32. So it has the air mass really close by, even showing some very hot air down there across northern France, but not quite reaching the UK. I have to make that emphasis here. If we do move into Sunday, still warm, still quite hot, but mid-20s, not anything like 31 or 32. If we do have a look at the 850 HPA temperatures, you'll be able to see into Saturday we do get the sort of 14 degree upper air temperatures in, but just still not quite as hot as the UKV. So it's very interesting seeing this, that we're sort of seeing a 5 to 10 degree difference between the UKV and other short range runs, only a 3-day lead time. So I'm very surprised by that. Again, we will have to see. 33 degrees is a big difference from widely 25 to 27. We will have to keep an eye on that. Hopefully it's just an anomalous UKV run, and that it's like what we've been thinking the last few days, which is widely mid to high 20s, locally 30 degrees instead of this widespread 30 degrees. But we will just have to keep an eye on it over the next sort of 12 hours or so. And as I said, we'll put a more detailed video out tomorrow on more runs, have a look at this in more detail. If you finished by just having a look at the GFS and the ensembles, again you can see the southeasterly winds arriving over the coming days, bringing up that very hot air. We continue to be inundated with low pressure out to our west, throwing instability our way and potentially providing the risk of thunderstorms and more low pressure systems spiraling around to our south, again bringing the risk of storms at times. But we're still generally near or close by to high pressure, so no risk of any major widespread sort of frontal systems. As we do head into next week, see the upper air temperatures are still very warm. Could see slightly cooler conditions come from midweek, but still nothing amazingly cold. And then could see more blasts of warmth there into the longer term, spiraling around low pressure systems though. So once again, could bring the risk of some big thunderstorms. Look at the Cape levels. You can see Cape levels rising there through northern Europe under these systems. So we'll have to keep a very close eye on it. If we just have a look at the 2 meter temperatures as well, again, I wasn't going to have a look at this until we had that GFS, so the UKV run. But you can see here through Sunday if we go to Saturday afternoon, we want to have a look at that's the day where we're seeing that 33 degrees. GFS showing 24 to 27 and locally 28, 29. Not the 30 to 33 degrees the UKV is showing. Again, UKV is a very high resolution model. Again, it could be catching onto something that we're not seeing, but even the GFS here, the upper temperatures are a couple of degrees cooler, and that will make up for that sort of 5-degree temperature difference that we're seeing between the two runs. Again, we'll have to keep a very close eye on it. Probably most likely will be somewhere in the middle, sort of 30 degrees or so as the tip-top temperature. But either way, it's going to be very warm, if not very hot and thundery weekend. If you finish by looking at the ensembles, you can see the peak this weekend around the Saturday point, around that 13 or 14 degree mark, so not the 15 or 16 degree mark the UKV was showing, before it does slowly descend downwards. Still though, quite a bit of precipitation indicating the risk of convection, and that continues for the foreseeable future with above average upper air temperatures. Look at the 2 meter temperatures, you can see how many runs are getting towards that 25 or higher degree range for a number of days through Saturday until around Tuesday before it cools off a little bit more down towards sort of 22 or 23. Again, will be slightly higher at the 3 p.m. temperature peaks. If you compare to the ECMWF, again very similar, peaking around that 14-15 degree mark at 850 HPA and holding for a number of days. Some big precipitation spikes appearing as well, but actually cooling off quite significantly into early next week and staying very warm, if not quite hot. And the 2 meter temperatures reflect that widely, 25 degrees plus. And again, these are the 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. temperatures, not the 3 p.m. peaks, so likely to be slightly higher than this. So we are looking at something around that 28, 29 degree range. On Saturday, maybe locally 30, and similar conditions perhaps as we head beyond that. So it definitely does look like today we have got quite a bit of uncertainty with the exact top temperature and the exact positioning of thunderstorms, but the overall pattern is pretty much locked in now. Hot weekend, heatwave conditions likely in many regions, and it will be a thundery weekend and start of next week in some places as well. And of course, we will pinpoint that in more detail in tomorrow's video, as we do have a little bit more data and we have a shorter lead time. Have to keep a very close eye on that UKV run. I do think it's a bit anomalous, and I do think it is overdoing it slightly, but again, we can never say never. Again, if it's still showing that by tomorrow and other runs have caught on with these slightly warmer upper air temperatures, then perhaps we are in for quite a hot weekend and hot spell of weather. I know we reached 40 degrees last year, but 33 or 34 is a significant heat wave in sort of normal times, when we don't have a 40 degree summer to compare it to. Considering the temperature record only prior to the last few years was 38 degrees, and the June temperature record I think was around 34 or 35, so we'd be getting close to that if that UKV run does come off. So as I said, we'll have to see. We'll update you again tomorrow on what is going on. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you stay safe out there over the weekend, and I'll see you again for another video soon.